What's up, metal and heavy music fans? Today we are talking about the new Tallah song, Telescope. Now, as some of you may know, especially from my most recent set of videos, I unabashedly, unapologetically love nu metal. Like, I just think it's so much fun. It's the genre that really got me kick-started. Like, I wouldn't have gotten into death metal, black metal, various levels of extreme metal, any of that, if I hadn't started with the likes of Korn and Slipknot. So, special place in my heart for it, and I still enjoy it, because it's just like fun, headbanging music, and sometimes that's all I need. And so as far as like modern nu metal bands go, and there aren't a lot of them that are really noteworthy in my opinion, Tallah just takes the cake. Like, I also enjoy those kind of like nu metalcore bands that sort of fuse styles together. That's cool. But if you just want like straight up nu metal, Tallah's where it's at. It is fantastic. I loved their last album, Earache, came out in 2020. That was an album that grew on me every time I listened to it. I was sort of like skeptical about it too, so I always encourage people with Tallah, like, give it a couple listens, see if your opinion on it changes. But loved that. Ended up being probably one of my more listened albums of the year, and I loved sitting down with Justin Bonnetz, the vocalist, and picking his brain for like 2.5 hours about the album and how he got into the band, and lots of great stories. Really encourage you to check that out. And also the live stream they did where they were just going through the entire album and talking about all these little details. Like, it's clear that these guys have such a passion for their music and really want to bring you just like the coolest sounds at any given second of the music. So as far as this new song goes, Telescope, I was super excited about this. They did a really cool kind of lead up to it with 8 little shorts kind of teasing it until it finally dropped today. And I was not disappointed. This is a great song. Very fun. There's a big, like, long, dramatic, kind of cinematic intro, but as soon as the music kicks in, they don't waste any time. Like, it kicks straight into the drums just pounding away and the double bass pedal, and Justin bringing those just rapid fire vocals. Like, there is no actual, like, musical intro here. It's just, like, straight into it. Total explosion. Love that. Justin bringing the chaos in those vocals as always. Like, I just really appreciate how much he likes to play with his vocal cords and bring a wide variety of sounds to the table. And then all of this alongside some almost like mathcore sounding pace changes in this first section. Like, these really punctuated, just like blasts and screeches, and the rhythms change on a dime, and it just like snaps your neck around almost the same way that I get from the Dillinger Escape Plan, even though it's not nearly on the same level of technicality, but still kind of a cool comparison there. And then I love the like super syncopated transition to the more hip hop inspired section where it's just like this da 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 da, and then it like kicks off into Justin doing his more kind of rap energy alongside these more sort of like squealy kind of Korn sounding guitars. Like, these guys clearly love their Korn and Slipknot above all else, but I also get a lot of like Head PE vibes from this too. In Justin's vocal style in particular, I think is what brings that out. But, oh man, it's just so much fun. And then after that, they kick into some D-beat, which y'all know if you're regular listeners, I'm a total sucker for that. But really Max Portnoy, the drummer, who, yes, is Mike Portnoy's son, is just bringing every possible rhythm style into this song. Like, you get that D-beat, you get the double bass, you get some blasts, you get those like crazy fast rhythmic changes. There's a lot going on here. Like, even if you just zero in on, I imagine there's going to be some drum covers of this song, and I'd be almost disappointed if there weren't, because there's a lot going on just with that. And then after that, you get some more riffs and a little breakdown moments kind of interspersed between them that feels more like something off of like a Nails record. Like, there's like this thrashy, grindy energy to it that's really aggressive and kind of like tough guy energy. Good like gym weightlifting moments, which I felt like Earache had as well. And then there's these like ascending moments of this like kind of like noise that it's in a weird way, it reminds me of like you'd go to the club and be listening to EDM and they'd have that like ascending noise before the big drop and everybody goes crazy on the dance floor. It's like that, except in a much more like, okay, now I'm going to like start punching people in the face kind of vibe instead of getting down on the dance floor. And then speaking of just like the vibe and the drip, as Finn McKenzie always puts it, I love the like throwback blacklight look of this video too. Like when I think blacklights, even though they've kind of come back more in vogue with like SoundCloud rapper videos and stuff like that, it always just reminds me of being in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where everybody would go to like Spencer's Gifts and pick up a blacklight and get a bunch of like blacklight posters and stuff, and that was your room. Like that was the energy, and so it totally brings that back for me, which is very much intertwined with the days that I spent a lot of time listening to classic nu metal albums. The singing section here is also very just pure 2000s nu metal, and there's just something so unique and difficult to describe about that sound, which is why I'm glad I'm like interspersing clips in here. It's just like, I don't know how else to describe it without you actually hearing it. No other genre sings in this specific way. It's weird, but I love it. Like it really brings that nostalgia back for me, because you just don't really hear this style anymore, and it's kind of fun. Like some people might call it like cringe or lame or whatever. Not me. I'm eating it up at this point. Then big breakdown for the mosh pit with that super tight pingy snare that they love in certain sections. I know, again, Max loves that super ping, and that was something they talked about on that live stream on Metriphagy. Was there's like a specific moment in that album in particular where they said they like added a bunch of layers to make it like the dodgeball snare, they put it. and you definitely get some of that on here. Definitely that Slipknot Joey Jordison energy. Rest in peace. I feel like he's just channeling that spirit in his name, which is fantastic. Justin then throwing in those like death metal gutturals, which is awesome. Again, I love the variety he brings to this. Like, it's never just one style. Justin is not a one-trick pony. He's always like playing with the sounds that are coming out of his mouth and his throat, and he brings in some of that like just like full-on death metal moments, which how can you not love that? Like that is just so much fun. And then that like big breakdown finally like, you know, leads into the sort of big finale of the song. So yeah, absolutely love this thing. It's from their upcoming concept album, The Generation of Danger, which is out September 9th, which is, I'm pumped. I'm pumped, y'all. And that gives me some time to like mentally prepare. I'm sure we'll get some more singles and music videos, just like we did with the last one. They did a bunch of music videos for Metriphagy. But yeah, the band in the quotations, I looked in the like description section for the video, they promise that this album is like heavier than anything they've done before, and also with more experimentation. So count me in on both of those points. But even that aside, just fun. Like that's the key word here, is fun. If you don't like fun, take a hike. Like that's fine, but take a hike. Cause like I like to just, you know, I always compare this to like movies too. Like sometimes I want to watch like Kubrick and some like high art, and other times I want to put on like The Rock from Michael Bay and just like drool as I shove popcorn into my face and watch Nick Cage and Sean Connery just go nuts. Or like Face Off. Like this is like the Face Off of music. So yeah, in terms of rating overall, I mean, like enjoyability, I feel like I'm being pretty clear on this. Like, is it like the most fun song I've ever heard, or even this year? Maybe not. I am still early on it, so I'm going to give it a 9 tentatively at this point, but still very high in that department. Musicianship. This is a band, again, that, like, it's easy to kind of, like, write them off as, like, big, dumb nu metal. But I'm telling you, pay attention to the drumming, pay attention to the guitar work and the bass work. Like, take a couple listens to just zero in on a specific instrument, and there's a lot going on. Like, these guys are not just dumbing it down. They're bringing their all, and there's a lot happening in the songwriting. So it's at least an 8, if not a 9 for musicianship for me, especially within the realm of nu metal. And then in terms of innovation, I'd give them like an 8 too, because like it's that nu metal blueprint, but they're always bringing their own specific spin on it. And I think especially Justin's vocal dynamics really kind of step it outside beyond what most other nu metal bands are doing. That is some fun experimentation. So talking like 9.98, 9.88, somewhere in that realm. It's a B+ at bare minimum. Very fun song. Definitely check out the full thing and add September 9th to your calendar, because you better believe I'll be reviewing the album when it comes out, because I had so much fun with the last one. But let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this song? I'm sure there are some people, I know we've got some Tallah fans in the audience that absolutely are going to love it. And then there are other people in the audience who just can't stand nu metal and any of this and are going to hate it. But I want to hear from both of you. Tell me that and why. Let's have a conversation, and then check out some of these other videos for more nu metal content if you're new here. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.